Hey there, I'm Rin Olson. This is The Dog Show. This week on The Dog Show.
Dogs that need a great home. Mighty Joe Young's Question of the Week. Photographs from Facebook's Vintage Dog a Day. An interview with Mary Williams of Holly's Big World.
Hello, I'm Kitty Logan with The Dog Show, and today we're in Union Square and about to meet some mighty mutts. But before we do, let's meet Simmy, our human, shall we? Hello, Simmy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well indeed. So today we have Mr. Corky, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about Corky?
Corky is one of the newer dogs we have at Mighty Mutts. He came to us this past week. He came along with another Chihuahua that we have named Princess. So at some point they were together and then they got adopted separately. And unfortunately they could not really eat. They were kind of upset. So we brought them back together now and we're trying to get them their forever homes together as two little Chihuahuas.
How sweet. So they just missed each other so much and they must find a home together. That's very important. But they're so tiny. Both of them together probably don't equal much of one dog. So now what kind of family was best for the two of them?
Well, since these dogs are newer to Mighty Mutts, we only got them about a week ago. So we don't know too much about them, but we do know that they're a little shy and a little skittish at first. So family-wise, we're definitely looking for more of a calmer environment for a family. Also, they are around 3 to 4 years old, so we definitely probably wouldn't prefer a family who's looking for a young puppy or a much older dog above, 7 or 8.
Well, in the time that I've spent with them today, they are just lovely. And one thing that I haven't heard them yippy. A lot of small dogs can tend to be yippy, but I haven't heard that, so that's a very wonderful thing. Now, are there any special needs as a Chihuahua or because of their age? Any special needs for them?
Well, in the time that we've known them, you're right, they've been pretty calm and pretty relaxed. Obviously, in an environment where they're a little territorial, they're going to bark a little bit just like any other dog. But for special needs, we don't really see anything so far. Obviously, throughout the weeks, we'll have a little bit more information about them. My biggest thing is that they just have to be together at all times, basically.
You mentioned that they are maybe 3 years old. And do they require a lot of exercise or anything? Are they very active?
Well, for the most part, because they are Chihuahuas, you obviously have to walk them. But they don't need any sort of extensive activity like running around or anything like that. They're small, so they'll be great dogs for homes.
And how well are they trained?
Well, for today, we've seen them. They've been pretty great. They're great on a leash. We've taken a couple walks with them. And obviously, at some point, they were in homes, so they probably have a little bit of training. But whoever was to adopt them would definitely have to probably train them to their own expertise as well.
Well, that about wraps it up. So thank you to Corky for interviewing with us today. And if you're interested in adopting Princess and Corgi, please visit Mighty Mutt's website and fill out an application. Or simply come down to Union Square on Saturday and visit the Mighty Mutts area. You can't miss them. There's a bunch of lovely dogs there. For The Dog Show, I'm Kitty Logan.
Mighty Joe Young here, New York City's favorite news hound. We're in Washington Square Park today, and I am with my girl, Cosette. Say hey.
Hi.
That's my girl. And she is here with her dog, and I'm going to ask her a question about it. You ready?
I'm ready.
So I want to know your dog's name and the story behind the name.
Okay. The story behind the name,
Which is?
which is Duke.
Which is Duke.
I have no idea. I adopted him from North Shore. He came with a name, and I know sometimes shelter dogs have issues, and I figured if he answers to the name, let it be, because he answers and it's fine, and if he has any other issues, we'll take that when it comes.
I love that you adopted Duke, but did you have a name in mind, like you thought you might change it?
I didn't have a name because I didn't know I was going to adopt a dog.
How did you not know?
I was thinking about it. My husband had passed away 5 months before.
Sorry.
And I was alone. I was very alone. I have no children.
Girl, you're going to make me cry.
Family. And I was thinking, I said, you know, I've always wanted a dog. And I never had one as a kid. When I got married, I had 3 cats. But we traveled a lot. And I worked all my life, and we just didn't have time for a dog. So I figured, I'm retired. I can have a dog now.
So you went to the shelter?
No, actually, they came to me. I live on Broome Street, and they brought a van in, I think in conjunction with Animal Control, and they parked on Broome and Broadway. And
They were delivering dogs to you?
They had the van, and they had all these dogs outside for adoption.
Yes, I know this van.
So I was walking across town with a friend of mine, and I saw all these beautiful dogs out there. And I looked at Duke, and he looked at me, and that was it.
Love. It was love.
It was love. I looked at those big brown eyes, and it got me.
Was he a puppy?
He was 10 months old.
How big was he? Show us.
He was 40 pounds.
Oh my.
He was
flirting though?
He was very scrawny, and his nose was pure white. It was so dry.
Oh.
It didn't get black for a month or so, but
He needed you.
he needed me.
You
and
needed him.
I needed him very badly.
We love this story. Get your tissues out now. Cosette, stop with the sad stories.
And
All right.
from there on, I went right in the van, signed the papers, gave him my $80, and went up to Pet Bar and got all the accoutrements.
And it's been love ever since.
It has.
So tell us what your dog's name is and the meaning or the story behind the name.
Okay, his name is Lucas. There's really no good story. I was just like at my college internship, and a friend, my roommate at the time, texted me and said, "We found a dog. We have to get it right now." So I left. I told my boss that I had to leave work. I drove over to the adoption agency and picked him up, and he just kind of looked like a Lucas, so I said that was his name. There's really no meaning behind it.
So it's like you just birthed a child and looked at it right out of womb and said, "Wow, you look like a Lucas."
What do you think that face looks like? What would you have named him?
I would have named him Lucas. No, stay with us, Lucas. First question for you, Al, with this amazing dog you have here is tell me his name and if there's a meaning behind it.
His name is Maximus. He lives up to his name. He's very gentle. He's very playful, but he'll tolerate only so much for another male, and then he'll definitely retaliate. Since Shepherd and the Rottweiler and the Pit Bull have the same bite, but the Shepherd has the most pressure.
Oh, Maximus. Living up to his name.
He lives up to his name.
Excellent.
He runs like a horse. He's very playful in the park. He's very gentle, but as soon as he's on the street, he's on recon.
Okay.
So he's on full attention. He's full alert.
All right, so is Maximus like a Greek god? Like, who is Maximus?
Maximus was a Spanish soldier.
Spanish soldier, and look at him fight.
He fought for in the Roman army.
Perfect. Got it. Now I completely get it. Yes, you do look like a soldier, Maximus. Tell us the story behind the name.
Sure. So Winnie is a year and a couple months old. She's a pure Labrador Retriever. And it was really just my husband and I thought to ourselves, we want to get a dog. What would we name our dog? And we just went through all these different names. And then
What were the other names?
Maisie was another contender. But Winnie was just hands down something that we liked. And we just kept saying to ourselves, one day we're going to get dog Winnie. And then we went and found Winnie.
And did you see her and go, oh my God, she's a Winnie?
Yeah, it was definitely, she was in a litter of 8, and we just looked at her and we're like, that's our Winnie.
Oh, we love that story, Winnie. Yes, we do. Mighty Joe Young here, New York City's favorite news hound. We're in Washington Square Park today, and I am with this hot gentleman whose name is?
Twally.
Twally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. So, Twally, tell me, what is your dog's name, and what's the story behind the name?
The story behind the name. Sit.
What is the name?
It is De Niro,
Ooh, can't wait to hear this story.
and it was named by my brother.
Because
I got the dog from my brother. He actually breeds these dogs. So.
and he loves Robert De Niro?
Of course. I guess so.
Of course.
Of course.
So
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
do you guys sit and watch De Niro movies late at night?
All the time. He doesn't go to sleep without it.
What's his favorite?
You know what? What's the one with Billy Crystal? Because he's into comedies.
A comedy. He's
Yeah,
into comedies,
into
or
comedies.
you're
He
into
likes-
comedies?
It's him.
What, does he pick?
He does.
Do you lay them out on the floor and he goes, I want this one?
Well, he puts his paw in there and he goes into Netflix. It's
Don't
pretty
lie to me.
incredible.
I will believe you.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah? I
Mhm.
don't know the movie. Can you come up with the name?
You know what? I don't remember the name. I want Billy Crystal.
Yeah, we'll look that up.
No, that's with Ben Stiller. This one is, you know what? It's the Fockers.
The Fockers?
He likes that one too.
The Fockers.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at them.
Hello, I'm Kitty Logan for The Dog Show, and today we're in Union Square about to meet a mighty mutt. But before we meet our mighty mutt, let's say hello to our human trainer, Simmy. Hello, Simmy, how are you?
I'm great, Kitty. How are you today?
I'm very well indeed, and so happy to meet Princess. Can you tell us a little bit about Princess?
Well, Princess is also a 3 to 4-year-old Chihuahua that we just got at Mighty Mutts. As you can tell, she's a little bit of a different color than Corky. She's white and black, obviously. She's also a little bit bigger. But for the most part, she's great. She's super sweet. She's a little bit more skittish and shy, but she's definitely...
Well, with a name like Princess, she must be wonderful. I'm just wondering where her little crown is, but she is so adorable. And I don't know, I can't see on a camera, but we have Corgi down there a couple steps below us, and they keep staring at each other. It's like such a love story. So there is a special thing. They both have to be adopted together, right? Is that correct?
Yes, they definitely do have to be adopted together. At some point, they were living together, and then they had been adopted separately by separate families, and they just couldn't stand it. So we had to, unfortunately, the family surrendered them back to a shelter. And then our founder, John Contino, was able to pull them out. So hopefully we can help them find their forever home so that they'll always be together from now on.
Right, so they both are going to be together. That's what our goal is. And are there any, what kind of family do they need to be in, do you think?
Well, we don't know as much about their past as we'd like because we did pull them out of a shelter. But for the most part, what we've seen today and based off the past week that we've had them, probably a family that's more of a calm environment. And definitely because they're around 3 to 4, not really a family who's looking for a puppy or an older dog to live with. So definitely a family that's willing to take on 2 little guys.
A calm environment, that's wonderful. And how well is Princess trained? I know she's a princess, so she's probably a little bit of a diva, but that's not such a bad thing all the time.
Well, Princess, similar to Corky, they're both trained very well. Princess is great on a leash. She's just a little bit heavier than Corky, but obviously she's probably like 6 pounds. They so far have been great. They do both have experience in homes, so they must be trained to some extent. We just obviously don't know. But volunteers at Mighty Mutts also do help in training, so hopefully when they get adopted, their next family will have a great time with them.
Does Princess have any special needs that we should talk about today?
So far, we haven't found any sort of special needs that she might need. Obviously, they need someone who's available to walk them and take care of them and who can handle smaller dogs, just to make sure they don't get away or anything. But even though she's a princess, she hasn't been too diva-ish yet, so we'll see where that goes over the next few weeks.
Splendid. So she's a princess with very low maintenance princess. And how much activity level would you say they need? Or, well, I say they because, we do want both of them to be adopted to the same family. Very important.
Activity level, they definitely need to be walked. They don't have any sort of strenuous or high activity level, like they don't need to go running around. But definitely a walk. They loved the walk we took them on today. They look so happy walking around the city. So I'm sure they love being outside.
So now you are a volunteer with Mighty Mutts. Now, could you just tell us how you got involved, and then perhaps for the people watching who want to also help out, maybe volunteer if they cannot adopt a dog, can you tell us a little bit about everything?
Well, I became a volunteer because the organization I work for was doing a volunteer week. So I got put in charge of finding dog and animal kind of adoptions. I found Mighty Mutts on my own and reached out, and right away they were amazing. They set me up on Saturday, and I've been a volunteer now for a little bit over a year. So if anybody is interested in volunteering, they can just go on our website, mightymutts.org, and right then and there you can kind of fill out your form or shoot an email over to info@mightymutts. And just come on out on Saturday. We'll take any volunteers. We always have new dogs, and we love dog lovers. So definitely anyone who's interested can totally come out and get involved.
Well, that about sums it up for us today. Thank you so much for being here, Simi. And I think I just have fallen in love with Princess right about now. If you want to fall in love with Princess, please go to Mighty Mutts and visit their website. And if you can't adopt, maybe you could volunteer. For the Dog Show, I'm Kitty Logan.
Hi, I'm Leslie for the Dog Show, and we're here at Lowe's Regency Hotel on National Dog Day. I have with me a rather an underground hero and her consort. Would you like to tell me about you and your dog?
Yes, I'm Mary Williamson, and this is Holly Golightly. She is a rescue from the Humane Society of New York, and now the star of Little Holly's Big World, which is the blog and Instagram where we sort of chronicle our adventures throughout the city, and of course our matching outfits. Sweet. Thank you.
Are they always matching?
Most of the time when we're going to events, they are matching. We're big fans of custom Ralph Lauren. That's where most of my disposable income goes. But today's ensemble, my dress is Betsy Johnson and her dress is from Baxter Boo. So,
Do you mean to tell me that they have the designer dog outfits?
so many designer dog outfits. That was part of why I started the blog. When I first got Holly, I was sort of looking for a place that curated all of these kind of fun and fabulous things that they make for dogs, and I wasn't finding it anywhere. So I decided to create that site myself. So Tory Burch makes dog sweaters. Ralph Lauren, as I mentioned, we're a huge fan. Burberry has done things. Louis Vuitton and Gucci do things, and we like to go out and find all of those fun and fabulous things for you and your pet.
How about the English designers? You know, the English love their dogs.
They do. Mungo and Maud is a favorite English dog designer of ours. They do beautiful dog products, and they actually sell them at Barney's as well. So, yeah.
So, are you recognized on the street these days?
Sometimes we are. Most often, thank you, Holly. When we go to events like this, people will say, "Oh my God, that's Holly!" if we're in the matching outfits. In fact, our friend Becca from the Humane Society, she's their social media person. She just looks for the two people, or well, the human and the dog, in the matching ensembles, and then she knows it's us.
It's wonderful. It's very, he's a wonderful emissary for shelter dogs.
Exactly.
And wonderful emissary for fashion for rescue dogs.
Yeah, we try to basically say that a dog doesn't have to be purebred to be positively fabulous. So, you know, Holly, I think, is beautiful. She's as one of a kind as a crocodile Birkin. You aren't going to find a dog like Holly anywhere else, whereas if you go to like a pet store or, you know, a puppy mill type situation, you might end up with a dog that's like everybody else's dog. So,
well, it's like all genetics, the more the merrier. You cannot get inbred and it's trouble. So, yes, I think some of the finest dogs are the mixes, as are the people. And you are doing good work out there, letting people know how fantastic these dogs are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We love being here.
This is Leslie for the Dog Show with the fabulous, well-dressed ladies. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kitty Logan for The Dog Show, and today we're going to meet a mighty mutt, Stella. But before we do that, let's meet our human, shall we? Hello, Robert. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Very well indeed. I am very, very anxious to meet Miss Stella. Can you tell me a little bit about her history, how she came about to be a mighty mutt?
Okay, well, Stella's had a little bit of a tough life. She's about 4 years old, and a couple of years ago, a gentleman moved to New York from Wisconsin and heard that she was in a really bad situation in the Bronx. And what he did initially was he brought her to the local pound in 110th Street. And when he found out that she was on the list to get put to sleep, he immediately went back, decided to take her in and make her his dog. The unfortunate thing is, very shortly after that, he decided he doesn't want to live in New York anymore, and he decides to move back to Wisconsin, and he leaves Stella at the other city pound, which is in Brooklyn, and she was also on the euthanasia list again. She was about to get put to sleep, and Mighty Mutts found out about her and took her in.
Well, it seems like rather than a mutt, she's working on a cat with 9 lives. Well, I'm so glad she's become a mighty mutt. So now, in the time you've spent with her, do you know what kind of family is best suited for her?
Well, I think she'd be great with most families. I think it'd be tough for like very young, like infants to be with her, because she's the sweetest thing in the world. She's just so strong, and I think she might accidentally, tug on them, and they might fall. But she's a doll. She gets along with everybody. I think she'd be great with children, with men, with women, families. I can't imagine very many homes that she wouldn't just totally flower in.
And I believe that the home she's currently living in has cats and dogs, so she apparently gets along with everybody, and she's such a sweet dog. So now, are there any special restrictions that she might have health-wise?
I don't think she has any special needs at all, except she needs some family to love her. She needs a permanent, forever home, and I think she is the best dog now. I think she's just going to get better in the home that gives her the love that she deserves.
So she is a good-sized dog, but she seems very, very active. Do you know how much activity she requires in a day?
She's an older dog. She's about 4 years old, so she doesn't need a whole lot of activity. Like with any dog, you should walk her about 3 times a day. But she's pretty mellow, and just a regular walk and she'll be fine. You know, when she's home, all she wants to do is kind of lie on your couch.
A mellow mighty mutt indeed. She is such a sweet dog. Now, if someone does want to adopt her, and I know there's going to be plenty of people that want to adopt her, what should they do?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You could come to our weekly adoption event. It's every Saturday from around 12 until about 5:30. We're at the corner of Union Square West and 14th Street. We're right across from Whole Foods. Or another way you can do it is you just go on our website, which is mightymutts.org. You click under dogs and you'll find Stella's page there. And you click the link and just say that you're interested in taking this real wonderful, wonderful dog home.
Well, that about wraps it up with Robert and Stella today. Thank you so much for being here. And do you know what I did last week? I found Mighty Mutt's Facebook page and I liked it. So now I know all their dogs and kitties that they have. For the Dog Show, I'm Kitty Logan.